Welcome to everybody from around the world. I'm your host, Mr. Hines. Want to say thank you for taking your time out. Hope everyone had a great holiday, great weekend. We're so excited today to bring to you one of the greatest, I think the greatest leaders in this opportunity with Bellator and Metaterra. Yes, I call him the master teacher, has over 36 years outside of corporate doing business, network marketing, a powerful, astute businessman. He spent close to 4 years in this opportunity. So we have 100% of the facts. We're so excited. Listen, take the time out and text your partners, your guests. Let them know we got to hear from one of the most, I think, powerful leaders in this opportunity, one of the top leaders. We are honored to have him out of New Jersey. Yes, I call him the master teacher. I even call him the legend, okay? But guess what? Once again, we're so honored to have, I call him the coach, Coach Ed Terranova. Can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Hines, I'm here. I'm honored, blessed, fortunate, and excited about what you've put together, and we're ready to rock and roll. We have a standard presentation that I put together that flows, I believe, real well. If you're a guest here today, sit back and relax. If you're part of the Bellator Mediterra company, congratulations. We are in a special place at a special time. They say in business, timing is everything. And I couldn't imagine a better time for anybody to be taking a look at who we are and what we're doing. So to get us started, I'm just going to play a little video that's a non-disclaimer, uh, kind of set everybody at ease. And before we do that, I will share. There's no guarantees. I'm a retired New York City firefighter. I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. I've built teams, have been fortunate and blessed to do fairly well in what's known as direct sales network marketing. And I come from the heart. And I'm at my center core, I have a personal relationship with our creator. That's just the way I live. And I'm not ashamed to say that. We have, and it's one of the things that Mr. Hines and I have connected on. He's a professional in every means that you can imagine. He and I had a great conversation, probably went about an hour long the other day. And wow, I'm impressed, Mr. Hines, and I'm thrilled that you reached out to me to
Thank
put this
you.
together. You know, so
Thank
uh,
you.
so I trust in the Lord. I turn it over to Him. I ask Him to give me the words, and that's what we're about to do. So, we're all in a world right now that most people would say is in turmoil, and having the faith that I have, I'm not flustered at all because I know the end. I know the end of the story. I know where we're going. I know what is about to happen, both in the world and in our company. So, I trust in Him. He continuously validates who we are, what we do, and Mediterra, Miracle Pay, Miracle is the name of the company, Miracle Cash and More. That um, almost 4 years ago, it was actually July of 2022 when I spoke to Ray Vidrio, who's the VP of sales with this company, and he asked me for 5 minutes to bring me up to speed on what him and Micah Thaird were doing. Now I know both Micah and he from a previous business that we had done. We know each other now for over 20 years, and he asked me for 5 minutes. I said, "Sure, Ray." And what he said in those 5 minutes caused me to say to him, "Ray, if what you're saying is true, I'll jump on a plane tomorrow and come to Cyprus." See, the company's located in northern Cyprus, and I've been engaged with direct sales network marketing. I've been a consultant. I've been inside of corporate. I've been outside of corporate. I've been fortunate to spearhead teams that have run into the thousands, tens of thousands, and even on a couple of occasions, hundreds of thousands. So I kind of had an understanding. Matter of fact, I was kind of jaded when it came to direct sales network marketing because it was a love-hate relationship. I loved it and I hated it. And the reason why was I love the camaraderie. I love the people. I love teaching and coaching and helping people to set goals and achieve goals and really live their dreams. But what I hated about it was that the industry as a whole has a very high attrition rate, and over 90% of the people end up spending more money than they make. I hated that about it. And so what Ray told me gave me the opportunity to want to see this thing thoroughly. Because honestly, I'm retired. My wife is retired. We have grandkids and we love life. And fortunately, my wife is my CFO and she's really good handling money. And so we didn't have a need, but I have a drive and I have an ambition and I have a desire to help others. I had the opportunity for a short period of time to work with a man named Zig Ziglar, and some of you know who he is. And Zig is an absolute legend, and his philosophy I embraced till this day, and it's very simple. The philosophy is you could have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. And what I loved about Mediterra and Miracle Pay and what you're about to see here is that everybody wins. Everybody who buys one of our income producing nodes or real world asset, they make money day one every day. A passive residual income that comes in every day. Matter of fact, we just went live with one of the tokens we'll talk about here later today, and a lot of people that have invested are so happy they did because those of us who came in what we call pre ICO, which is initial coin offering, we came in and we were able to purchase it anywhere between 25 cents and 80 cents. And in just the last 48 hours, we knew it was going to come out at about $1.25. It jumped up to $2. Now it's at $2.50. And that's not to say it's going to continue to go straight up. Nothing goes straight up. It will vacillate and go up and down. However, we're just getting started. And when you understand what you're about to see here today, chances are you're gonna want to own as much of these real world assets as you can because it could really change your life. And so let's jump right into it. But to start it out on the conservative side without any promises or exaggerations or what anybody might call BS. There's no BS here. I pride myself on being as honest as possible, and I will actually downplay stuff before I put it out of range. So let's talk about it, but let's play this little disclaimer so everybody can get an idea. If you like what you see, and we think that you will, and you want to purchase anything that we have, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees. We're all independent, individual people that have to, have our own risk tolerance and get advice from professionals. So let's play this real quick, and then we'll get it going, and I might get a little bit excited because we're very excited. Here we go.
The information provided does not constitute financial advice, investment recommendations, or an endorsement of any investment strategy. Investment involves risk, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Always conduct thorough research and seek the advice of a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. Any reliance on the information provided is at your own risk. We do not guarantee the accuracy or completeness of the information and disclaim any liability for any direct or consequential loss arising from any use of this content. Remember that all investments carry risk, and you should be aware of your risk tolerance and financial situation before making investment decisions. This presentation includes general information only and does not constitute financial advice. Please consult a qualified financial professional before making any investment decisions. The following content is protected under copyright law. Please respect these terms to ensure compliance.
All right, so that allows us to come right into what we're doing. And Mediterra Holdings Inc. is about to go on the NASDAQ. It's going to go on the OTC to lower board initially, but we will bring it to the top. Matter of fact, based on everything you see, there are people within the industry that are looking at us saying, I mean, you guys should go right to the big board, and we will. We're starting out on the OTC, which is over the counter on the lower board. That might happen today. It might happen tomorrow. We believe it's going to happen in just days, possibly a week or two, or definitively, I would say the probability is well over 90% sure before this month is out, Mediterra will, with its symbol, will be on the NASDAQ. And that just changes the game because a lot of the things you're going to hear me say and mention and tell stories about will be coming out in press releases. And when press releases are coming out every day, every other day, I mean, for the next 3 months, you're going to see press releases go, and people are just going to be looking at it. What's going to happen is, for most people, it takes time for them to wake up. It takes time for them to acknowledge. Most people are resistant to change. So anything new, they kind of put up their hands and go, whoa, 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 wait a second. That reminds me of this, or reminds me of that. And what I always say is that intelligent people take a look at the facts before they make a decision. Ignorant people just make a decision without even looking at the facts. And so we want you to be intelligent. We want you to take a look at the facts, take a look at everything you see, but also recognize the timing aspect of what we have. So Mediterra, and these are just a few of the entities from left to right. I'm very methodical in the way in which I like to go about things. I like things that are fun, simple, and fast. And so we've scheduled this presentation to go a half hour. That's what because I believe that I respect everybody's time. I respect your time. If you like what you see and we think that you will, we'll take the next step with you. As a matter of fact, after this presentation is over, I'm going to hang around and we're going to talk a little bit. Mr. Hines and I are going to chat a bit, and we want to cover what your thoughts and concerns might be. But when you look from the left, we're going to talk about Wall Street Capital. We're going to talk about Miracle Chain, Miracle Pay, Miracle Real World Assets, SCORE, the SCORE project that's being released and introduced. For those of you that are going to Scottsdale, Arizona, just within 10 days from now, it's going to be amazing. I just know it. I've been through this journey program before, and to match it up and be part of what we're doing is just incredible. And then Bellator Life is the marketing arm. Everything you hear about in Miracle, everything you hear about in Mediterra is brought to market by Bellator. We're part of Bellator, and then we have Miracle Cash and More, which is its own individual exchange, cryptocurrency exchange. We're going to talk about, for some of the stuff, it might be confusing. When you talk about DeFi and DeFi exchanges, and then exchanges that are centralized exchanges, and DeFi, it's all part of what's evolving, and it's fluid. I mean, the government has come out with what's called the Genius Act, and that pertains to what they call stable coins, and it's a done deal. The Clarity Act is in the House, and they're tweaking it, and it might come out any day now. And I tend to think that it is going to happen by the end of April, and in May it'll go into effect. But once the Clarity Act comes out, that's where all the rules, the regulations, the framework is done as to what in cryptocurrency is. What's the difference between a meme coin and a collectible coin, and what's a security and what's a commodity. And you don't need to know all that stuff, because when you see what you see here today, it's very, very simple. We spend money. We go to stores. We swipe our cards, our Visa card, MasterCard, American Express. We buy things, and we're operating under a system that some people believe is in the process of getting flipped, and it is. And the answer and the future to currency is digital currency. And we're right there at the forefront with the technology that you're about to take a look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a series of videos. Again, I love things that are fun, simple, and fast. So we're going to look at a bunch of short videos, a minute and a half, 2 minutes. And I'm going to add commentary in between, and that's gonna pretty much do the presentation. If you notice, I could have read that income disclosure. I'd rather have a professional voiceover and just press play. Same thing here. This gentleman, when I first started with this company back in 2022, we were in the process of building things. We ended up coming out with what's called the Phoenix token, which at the time was a utility token. And if you know anything about crypto, that's where you want to be. You want to be in a utility token, something that really has a use. And then there was what came later was nodes. And nodes are what they call a CPU node, is a central processing unit that all computer networks have. And if you buy one of the nodes, you could actually make money from it on a daily basis. And this gentleman was in crypto, was mining Bitcoin, and he's going to tell you his story right here. He's not part of our company, although somebody's going to recruit him. I haven't seen his face just yet. He'll be here. and a whole bunch of major entrepreneurs are going to be attracted to what you're about to see. So let's just let it roll. Pay close attention to this because I'm going to reference a couple of key things here.
Did make millions of dollars in crypto, but I don't trade crypto and I don't buy crypto. I make it. So I started making Bitcoin at $220. That in itself is crazy. But we started mining Bitcoin. We were making a lot of money. We were like, man, if Bitcoin ever gets to $10,000, we're going to be rich. This guy that was mentoring me, he was worth $100 million. I became one of his top guys. And at that time, I didn't know anybody worth that kind of money. It just sounds preposterous to the average person. For the next 7 years, I learned software instead of hardware mining. So when you mine Bitcoin, you have a physical piece of machine. You plug it into the network. It confirms transactions. You make Bitcoin. On the platform that we launched, which was a company called Gala Games, we worked with Snoop, the death row chain that Snoop gave me, kind of crazy. And instead of hardware, we had software. So these software nodes will confirm transactions on the blockchain. Every time you buy something on that blockchain, sell something, move some money back and forth, there's a fee. That fee goes up in the cloud and is split evenly between the node owners. So that very first blockchain that we launched, I only put 15,000 in. And for 2.5 years, those nodes just confirmed transactions. I had about 17 million tokens in my wallet. I watched it go from less than a penny to 5 cents, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 84 cents in a matter of like 5 months. So I went from $11,000 in software nodes to having over 11.4 million liquid currency.
So what he talked about there was putting in 15,000 in. He had $11,000 worth of nodes, and it ended up going up to $11 million. Now, I know that everybody that's on this Zoom and anybody that is in the world that we live in where money is needed to live. It's like when I worked with Zig, he said, if people tell you they don't care about if they don't care about money, they'll lie about other things too. But money is like oxygen. When you need it, you really need it, right? I mean, we need it to live. And so when you see a position, a possibility, and what I'm going to say is this, that I'm so happy for this guy and what he was able to achieve there. But knowing what we have our hands on and what you're about to look at, I believe ours is in magnitudes of what he was able to take advantage of. And if you're in anywhere at the right place at the right time, he talked about launching a chain. We just launched our chain, our miracle chain. We just came out with, and it's going on Gemini, which is the crypto exchange, our token, our Mirex token, and that's what I referred to earlier. So let's take a quick look at what we're doing. There's a little 1-minute video I'm going to show you next that really sums up quite a bit about our nodes and part of our technology. And then we'll expand from there. And as we go, I encourage you, if it's confusing, just relax. We'll tie it all together at the end. And as you start asking questions and you get engaged, it starts getting real clear real fast. So let's take a look at the Miracle Pay node.
You've probably heard the saying, if only I were early. Early to Bitcoin, early to Amazon, early to Tesla. Well, here it is again. But this time, it's not about hype. It's about owning the rails of a new financial system. Introducing CPU nodes, digital assets that earn daily from real crypto transactions happening worldwide. Every time someone pays with crypto, in-store or online, a small fee powers the network. And if you own a node, you get paid. These nodes are already paying every single day in a digital currency undervalued today, but set to explode in the months ahead. We've secured contracts with 4 global terminal providers, giving us access to over 100 million active merchants. And we're also integrated with major online retailers, processing billions each month. When even a small percentage of that volume transacts in crypto, node rewards skyrocket. The system is active. Payouts have begun. We're funding our aggressive expansion, not with Wall Street, but with everyday people like you. Together, we're decentralizing wealth. By owning the new infrastructure of money, timing is everything. Own a node now and earn every day for life.
So what we're doing, folks, is we're giving people the opportunity to learn how to get a real world asset that pays them a passive residual income day after day after day after day for the rest of their life. Matter of fact, these nodes are saleable, they're transferable, they're inheritable, so they're assets that can grow. And as we go through the presentation, you'll see that they even grow in value. And so right now we have the Miracle Pay nodes that we're talking about. They're right now at $1,200. Don't blink, because as soon as the symbol comes out on the NASDAQ, the entire product offering is going to be restructured. There's no doubt this is going up in price, but you can pick them up right now for $1,200. There's only 210,000 of these, and they all share equally in 30% of the transactional profit. So if you buy it today, you start earning tomorrow. It is amazing. Those of us who are claiming our rewards on a daily basis, we're getting paid day after day after day after day. And as you start to understand more, your belief level goes up. You start realizing that this is real. This, the possibility of this company becoming a unicorn is real. And that's why the gentlemen we're going to talk about next, that are world renowned, experts in Wall Street and in taking companies public and in getting positioned with companies that go on to become household names, like what they call the Mag 7. The Mag 7 are the top 7 companies that are on the S&P 500, and they're the companies you know about, the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Teslas. They're all in place. We believe that this company Miracle can become and will become that type of an entity, and that's why we're here. That's why we're so excited, is that you can participate in this incredible ecosystem that is the switch. When you go and you use your debit card, your MasterCard, your Visa card, and you swipe. I went this morning right after the gym, and my wife needed something from the supermarket. I went in there, and guess what terminal it is? It's Ingenico. Remember the video talked about 5 merchant terminals? Ingenico, Pax, Verifone, and NCR are 4 of the biggest in the world. They represent over 100 million merchants around the world, and they contracted with us to provide the crypto gateway so that if people wanted to pay with crypto, they could do it right on their current machines that they have. Matter of fact, there's some people in the room here today that were in July, this past July, in Cyprus with us, and we had an event. It was a phenomenal event, and we introduced that we were going to roll out our own chain, the Miracle chain, which has now been rolled out. We introduced the Mirex token, which again just went to market. We did that back in July, and those of last year, and those of us who were there, we got the opportunity to purchase those products, and we actually get the chance to actually share those with others. But it all revolves around the fact that we own the technology. That Miracle, which actually started in 2017, it's an 8-year-old company now, invested tens of millions of dollars to build this infrastructure that you're looking at. And we own the switch. Whenever you swipe a card, what a lot of people don't know, and I didn't know until I started really getting engaged in this type of business, where the merchant actually pays on Visa card, MasterCard, usually 2 to 3% of the sale. And then if you're talking about American Express, they have to pay for 4% of the sale. So the merchant takes on that expense. In crypto, the customer takes on the expense. There are fees. There's what they call gas fees. That's the transaction fees. And whenever people buy or sell anything to do with crypto, somebody's making money there. We own the switch. The switch completes the transaction. It creates the payment solution for people to pay right there on a machine using their own personal information, their cell phone with a QR code, and they tap it, and then cha-ching, we make money. We get to share in every. But when you own a node, this is kind of an epiphany for some people. When you own a node, you share in every single transaction, in every terminal, in every country, in every state, in every city, in every town in the world. Every single, whether somebody's buying a cup of coffee or they're buying a Rolex watch, doesn't matter. Cha-ching, we get paid. How would you like to get paid in every country on the planet? Come join us. That's what we're doing. It's exciting. It's amazing that we are able to participate and earn money all over the world. I'm going to tell a quick story that really influenced me. I heard as I was developing my business that there was a guy named J. Paul Getty. And when he was first getting started, he said, I'd rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own effort. You see, what he understood with the mechanics of wealth are leverage. If you could leverage yourself through the efforts of others, and this is what companies do, right? Big companies employ people and they make money off the labor of those people. Well, in this type of business, and if you choose to participate in the marketing aspect of it, you could actually participate in that. But if you just want to buy a node and get paid, and not sell or recruit or do anything, you're still going to participate in leverage. Why? Because the network is out there in the marketplace, and people are going to go to the stores that they go to. They're going to, and as the world transfers, and we're in the process, it just got started, the laws are being finalized. As the world changes, and it's going to be the biggest transference of wealth in the history of the world. As the world changes from what they call fiat currency, that's the paper notes, that's the dollar bill that says federal note on the top, that's owned and controlled by the central banks. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency was created to eliminate the middleman. And it's a better, more efficient way of actually going. That's why the biggest brokerage houses now are coming on board. The BlackRocks of the world are coming on board. They're participating because they know that this is the future. And a couple of years back, people didn't understand what cryptocurrency was. My buddies used to say back in 2017, when I was consulting a company in Utah, I was out there acting as president of the company. And I come back home, my wife and I go out to dinner with friends, and they say, "But Ed, why do they call it cryptocurrency? I mean, it's not a currency. You can't spend it anywhere." And back then they were right. And I'd have to tell them, well, the technology's in the works. When it is up and running, everybody's going to be using it, and that's where we're at now. People are starting to realize, and so what Wall Street did, one of my mentors said, it's Wall Street greed. They're afraid of missing out. Once they realized how much money Coinbase was making, how much money Binance was making, the billions of dollars, they said, wait a second, we got to get a piece of that action, or we're going to lose it all. And now you have everybody. You have nation states. You have a country like the United States where the president says, we're going to be the Bitcoin capital of the world. We're going to have our own Bitcoin reserve. This is what's happening, guys. You could either, there was an old saying we used to say, there's three types of people: those who make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who wonder what the heck happened. You don't want to be in that third category where you're going to wait 10 years before you finally realize, oh yeah, what they were saying is right. No, you want to get involved before everybody. Here's my key, right? The secret, if you want to call it a secret, is to position yourself in front of the masses before the masses react, before the whole world knows about it. That's the secret, is to position yourself in front of the masses before the masses react. We are definitively going from fiat currency to digital currency, and you could do well with it. You could change your family's history. You could create a legacy for yourself and your family and your children and your children's children to come. That's what I honestly believe to my core. Again, no guarantees, but that's what you're looking at right here, right now. So I have to update this, right? Our Phoenix token is the token that's needed to pay the gas, to pay the transaction fee. It just went up from this half of a penny to about 7/10 of a penny in the last 24 hours. And this is one of the opportunities that we have, is to actually earn money on these transactions and earn money on the Phoenix token, and you can get paid in Phoenix token. You can purchase Phoenix token. You could purchase on Murex token. And again, we'll tell you more about that in a moment. But the nodes actually validate the transactions. And so if you buy a node, and the first node we came out was this node, the Phoenix node. And when we came out with it a little over 2 years ago, we purchased, those who purchased day one, we purchased for $1,100. Now they're worth $5,000. So tell me, what have you seen in the last 2 years that has appreciated by over 400%? It's almost a 5x gain, to be able to appreciate. It's like buying a house that, today you might buy, let's say we're talking about a small house, condominium at $100,000. Can you even buy a condo for $100,000? I don't think so. The first condo my wife and I bought, we bought in 1983 for $72,000. But I'm going to use it for the ease of numbers and math. Imagine if you go buy a house for $100,000 that in 2 years is worth $500,000. How many would want to buy that house? I mean, this is what we're talking about. Just happened with this, the Phoenix code node right here, and these are going to go up in value. And one of the things, by the way, there's still some available. There's only 20,000 of them. There's still some available right now. I think it might be just a handful, might be a dozen, might be 2/3. But if you want to buy any of these Phoenix code nodes, we get to share in 20% of the transactional profit of everything that's going there. So let me freeze and slow down just a little bit, because what happened with me, if you don't know anything about nodes, neither did I. I'm a retired New York City firefighter. I used to substitute teach to make some extra money. And when I was substitute teaching, I got paid $100 a day. And so when you look at that, I thought about this, and friends of mine who own nodes, they were in that company, that Gala Gaines company. I know one woman that made millions in that company, and I know several people that made money. One of the guys told me, this guy Stan said, Ed, I got nodes, and they've been paying my bills for years because he bought some nodes. So because I knew these people and it was validated, I started thinking, wait a second, if I buy a node, that's like $100 a day. That's like me working a full day as a substitute teacher. I like that. But then, my entrepreneurial, mind clicked in and said, wait a second, if I can make 100 a day, if I can get 10 of these, I can make 1,000 a day. I like $1,000 days better than I do $100 days. And so we did that. So that's the kind of thing that we have here, is the possibility of having a real world asset that pays you every day, whether they said it could pay $10 a day, could pay $100 a day. And I'm like, okay, let's see, what do I need to, if I acquire X amount, how much would it bring me in? And that's what we're looking at. We're looking at real world assets that produce real world income on a day-to-day basis. And so that's that. So Mediterra is the holding company. We're architecting the future of digital finance in real world utilities, and the opportunity is amazing. These are the gentlemen I was talking about earlier that are just absolutely global, elite business people. Up in the upper left-hand corner, that's a Contour hand. He's the idea man behind Everything Miracle. He created it. We're also thankful. I'm fortunate and blessed to call Hawking my friend. Matter of fact, we text back and forth quite frequently, and I feel so honored. I can't even believe it that the Lord put me in this position to become friends with a gentleman like this. So he's the CEO and founder of Miracle, and off to his right is Douglas Anderson. About 8 months ago, he was telling me that these guys from Wall Street are going to take us public, and the name of the company was Wall Street Capital. And I looked them up. I watched their videos. They've taken hundreds of companies public. That's Douglas Anderson, the CEO and founder of Wall Street Capital. And the gentlemen below are the advisors that he's worked with for close to 30 years now. And when I first saw Doug on a video, I realized not only did Doug get it, but I could see in his eyes that he had FOMO, and he wants to be the first out the gate. So he became the chairman of Mediterra. And he told us all on a recent call that this is his swan song, that he believes that this could be the biggest thing he's ever done. Matter of fact, when you look at all of the gentlemen on the bottom that I'm going to talk about, they're all in agreement that this could be the biggest project they've ever been a part of. And when you hear about the projects they've been a part of, this is the world's elite. These are like some of the most successful people in the world. Lower left-hand corner, John Bear, he created a little company, a cellular company called Cellular One, that was purchased by AT&T. He also created a system, a company that ended up getting purchased by Google for hundreds of millions of dollars. He also created the framework for what we know today as streaming video that Netflix runs on. So here's he's a technologist, and he understands business, and he has raised and earned hundreds of millions of dollars in this industry. The man right next to him, Stephen Norris. Stephen Norris, you might not know the name, but you know some of the companies he was very much a big part of. Number one, he was chief counsel of the Marriott Corporation. He also served as CEO of Marriott for 10 years. He also was the idea man behind what's known today as private equity. And he did that with a gentleman named David Rubenstein. They were the co-founders of the Carlyle Group, which holds over $600 billion in assets under management. His contact capital and friends and business associates are people like the King of Saudi Arabia. And the King of Saudi Arabia, they have the oil reserves, and we're in the process of probably tokenizing the oil reserves of Saudi Arabia. In fact, you're going to watch a video in a little bit that mentions real world assets, talks about oil and gas, and talks about what tokenization is. And if you don't know tokenization yet, as we advance in time, it takes a little bit faster for things to get adopted on a massive scale and actually get ramped up to where they are a unicorn. And a unicorn is a company that has risen up real fast to doing billions of dollars in business. And when you think about whether you're talking about computers and the advent of computers, when Microsoft came out, or you go into phones, and I remember, okay, I'm going to tell a story. I'm going to take the liberty. Back in 1991, I was both a New York City firefighter and I was a network marketer. And the company I was with was opening up Hong Kong. And I went to Hong Kong because somebody on my team was a fur trader that he and his wife lived in Hong Kong. And so we wanted to be there when we went there. And this is what happened. When I was a firefighter with the New York City Fire Department and I got hired, I was doing well in business. And at the time, I was driving a Mercedes that had a mobile phone hooked up on the center console. Back then, if you had a phone, this was 1991. Back then, if you had a cellular phone, it was the size of a brick. It was like an assault weapon. Well, I had one of these things that was permanently attached to the car, and the guys at the firehouse used to rib me. Oh, here comes the executive. Right, my name is Ed. They called me the Ed executive. Right, here comes the executive. So I was both a businessman and a firefighter. And back then, when I was in Hong Kong, all of a sudden I started hearing phones ringing. Usually the phone rings, at the desk, at the front of the restaurant. And I was hearing phones ring all over the place, and people started picking up a little phone that was a flip, and they'd flip it open, they'd start talking. And we didn't have that here in the United States yet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's going to come to the United States. I got to get one of those doohickeys, right? So sure enough, I went to the firehouse and I had a flip phone. Nobody had a flip phone. They ribbed me for that. But I was a vision. I was willing to buy into the vision of what other people knew was going to be the future. And we're at the point in time where we're trying to do that. We're trying to paint the picture for people that look at this for the first time to realize by the time this presentation is over, if you believe, like I believe, that Miracle Pay is going to be a household word around the world and everybody's going to know about it, and you had the time to position yourself in front of that massive growth, wow, what a blessing. So that gentleman right there, Steve Norris, he's personal friends with the King of Saudi Arabia. Chances are we're going to be tokenizing their oil reserve. Right to him is Stephen Moore. Stephen Moore was the advisor to a United States president. As a matter of fact, he was selected by President Trump to become the chairman of the Fed, and he turned it down for family reasons. And next to him is Fernando Valdesola. He and his family own a little company called PACCAR that has it's a $60 billion company. All of these gentlemen have looked at this. They're friends of Douglas. They're business associates of Douglas. And when Douglas told me, he said, Ed, I was fortunate enough, there was about 10 of us in a room, and I sat right next to him at lunch, and we're talking, and he told me, Ed, when I brought this to the advisory group that is here, he said, I didn't think they'd all want to be a part of it. He said they all wanted in. They all were excited about it. And they have all said, when you hear Steve Norris, who was the guy who sold Jeff Bezos the books to start he had the licensing rights to the books to start Amazon, which started out as an online bookstore and raised hundreds of millions of dollars and helped to become a $1 trillion company. That's who we're looking at here. That's on our board of directors. So stop. Think about that. How would you like to partner with these people? You can. You can. You can become a representative of Bellator. You can become a partner in Bellator for free. And you can market these products. You could buy these products. You could get a referral link for free. And you can make money with us. There's no excuses here. If you have an entrepreneurial ounce of blood in your body, there's no reason why you should not join us. Come join us. Be a partner with us. We're having a blast. Mr. Hines called me up. I got to talk to him. I was so honored that he looked up to me as being a person that could help. And I said, by all means, let's do it. And here we are. We're going to do this every Monday. So put it on your calendars every Monday. So Bellator is the parent company, kind of. It's a holding company that underneath it has all of the miracle companies. And all the miracle companies are extensive. There's over 20. The Miracle Pay, Miracle Coin, Miracle Estates, Miracle Media, Miracle Swap, if you don't think this thing is bigger than anything out there, when I looked at this, so when Ray Vidrio said to me, give me 5 minutes, and I told him, if this is true, I'll fly in a plane. But the next 24 hours after telling him that, I got on two of these type of Zooms, and I texted Ray. I said, Ray, my bag's packed. 6 days later, I was in Cyprus. I got to meet a contortant. I spent a week there. I wanted to meet the corporate staff. I wanted to see the facility. I wanted to test out the technology. And I came back from there and I said, oh my goodness, this is real. This is bigger than anything I ever thought it could be. And that's what happened with Douglas Anderson. He saw it just like I did, only he has a bigger vision and a bigger understanding than I do. And I look at, here's what I've learned to do, especially in the last couple of years, is trust. These guys know it better than I do. I can't imagine. I can't. Sometimes Hawken talks to me like I know what he's talking about. And I got to go look it up. Like one day he said KPI. I didn't know what a KPI was. I'm going, what's a KPI? I looked it up. Now I go to Grok, right? I use AI. But I went to Google and I looked it up. KPI is a key performance indicator. They're talking a different language, these guys. There are so much, but we can partner with them and ride their coattail. And that's what I've decided to do. I figured out a way that I could hitch my wagon. And the Lord has given me discernment. He's given me the ability to weigh things out, to really see. And he has validated time and time again that I'm in the right place. You're in the right place at the right time. It's the right time in your life. Throw caution to the wind. You'll never have an opportunity like this, I believe, for in the rest of your life. I believe that this is, I've worked for over 36 years in this industry to prepare myself for this moment in time. Come have fun with us. So we're going to show a couple more videos. I'm going to stop talking because I can go on forever. When we first started going global with Miracle Pay, look who we're up there with. This just happened a couple of weeks ago. Crypto.com, Binance, Coinbase, bang, Miracle Pay. We're right in there. I'm telling you guys, we're going to be a household word. Miracle Chain, that's our blockchain. Ethereum is the biggest blockchain in the United States. It's brought to market with the Ethereum product. 70% of all coins run on their rails. I believe that's about to change. I think somebody's going to take over that top spot, and I think it's going to take us a few years to take over that top spot. I think that Miracle Chain is going to run the Miracle chain and the Murex token and everything you're looking at is going to be it. So let's just take a quick look at the Murex token and the Miracle chain.
Welcome to the future of business. Miracle Chain, where blockchain meets automation and AI transforms how companies grow. Imagine onboarding customers with a tap, paying teams worldwide in seconds, and launching token ecosystems without writing a single line of code. With Iterato, your sales force becomes unstoppable. AI handles the follow-up, while gamification drives viral growth. Need to launch your own token? Miracle Launchpad and DEX give you everything: pre-sales, vesting, swaps, and full control. The Miracle Wallet simplifies finance. No seed phrases, just seamless access to crypto. Commissions and payments, secure, compliant, and easy to white label. And at the core, Miracle Chain. Private layer 2, built for scale, compliance, and automated global payouts. Whether you're selling online or in-store, Miracle Pay bridges fiat and crypto so you can do business anytime, anywhere. Miracle Chain. Powering the digital economy, one smart system at a time.
So that's the Miracle Chain. The Murex tokens and the Guardian nodes are also available. I apologize, this pricing is not correct. Because of that increase from where we were at 80 cents to $2.50, these projects, I don't think this is in the back office. And if it is at this price, jump on it because you're going to get an instant gain here. But all we're doing is taking real world assets that are going to be the future of finance, and we're tokenizing the world. If you really want to get two buzzwords that will end up becoming something that everybody talks about, is tokenization and real world assets. That's what we have: the oil tokenization, global alliances, We have one more short video, Project X, that we want to talk about, and this has to do with the oil. And then we'll start to bring this to a close, and then we'll open it up to a little conversation.
We hear it all the time. The investment world is complicated. Stocks are confusing. Commodities are complex. And the Forex market, it's a maze. It's time to end the chaos. Introducing Project X. Let's look closer at the ultimate gateway bridging Wall Street and Web3. Project X isn't just a product, it's your key to the future. At its core lies the power of Wall Street capital asset strategies. Here is the huge news. A $12 billion deal has already been signed. This unlocks approximately $25 million a year flowing directly back to Project X holders. We are just getting started. A colossal $60 billion deal is already on the way. Once signed, this is projected to add another $125 million to the community pool. The potential here is limitless. Plus, the project is powered by Mediterra's robust real-world assets, RWA, with massive backing from the oil and energy sectors. The rewards? Project X holders enjoy a $2 daily payout. That means $730 a year, guaranteed. And don't forget, you earn a $250 direct commission on every single NFT sale you make. For the first 10 days only, prices are slashed. Single NFT, just $1,300, down from $1,600. Starter pack, 3 NFTs, $3,600. Bonus pack, buy 5, get 1 free for $6,000. Whale pack, buy 25, get 7 free for $30,000. Secure your financial future today with Project X. Buy now at bellatorlife.com.
So the Project X node is still available for $1,300. This is such a steal. It's such a buy, such a bargain. There's only 12,000 of these. And this is one of the things that I'm telling people, take a real strong look at. So we also have packages that are put together. These are pre-IPO. IPO, the initial public offering. As soon as we get the symbol from the NASDAQ that we're live, all this stuff gets restructured. So you're going to take a look at some stuff that, again, in my opinion, is an absolute steal. Let's let it roll. Whoops.
Wake up! Don't let this slip by. The biggest opportunity of the year has finally arrived. To the most relentless, visionary community in the space, your moment to build the future is right now. Let's break down the Bellator pre-IPO infrastructure launch packages. Start strong with the starter package. Get 2 Miracle Pay nodes and 3 Project X nodes. That is a retail value of $6,000, slashed down to just $3,000. You lock in a massive 50% savings. Scaling up, the Builder package delivers 1 Guardian, 3 Miracle Pay nodes, and 3 Project X nodes. $9,800 retail value for only $5,500, saving you 44%. For the serious visionaries, the Elite Infrastructure Package is your best value. Secure 2 Guardian nodes, 7 Miracle Pay nodes, and 4 Project X nodes. Retail is $17,000, but today it is yours for $9,900. That is an incredible 42% savings. And for the ultimate leaders, the Limited Founder Infrastructure Package. Command 5 Guardian nodes, 15 Miracle Pay nodes, and 10 Project X nodes. This is a $43,000 retail value for $25,000. Another huge 42% savings. But act fast. There are only 200 founder positions available. This isn't just an upgrade. It is your empire. Claim your nodes, secure your rewards, and take your place at the top. Network is launching. Time to move is now. Secure your package today, and let's build the future together.
Bellator Life. To your legacy.
Okay, so if you're here for the first time, get back with the person that invited you. Get your questions answered and get started with us. We're having a blast. Appreciate everybody's time. We're going to spend the rest of the hour. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hines, but before we go, I want to leave you off with this. Always, always, always remember that the best is yet to come. To God be the glory. Mr. Hines, thank you so much for inviting me. I got so excited there that I went on. There's so many great things happening. I said more than I anticipated, but here we are together.
Well, like I said, let's everybody put in the chat the love. That was an incredible presentation from our own Mr. Ed. We just once again, I call him the master teacher, the coach. Once again, we're honored. He has spent close to 4 years sat down with the owner, like he said, sat down with the executive leadership team. And it's just an honor to have him on this call. Just put in the chat. We love you. We thank you for the presentation. Get with your sponsor and get positioned today, everybody. This is very, very historical moment for all of us, and I'm so humble. So thank you once again, Mr. Ed. We're going to be doing it every Monday, okay? Every Monday, we're going to be right here, same channel, same time. I see you on the next call, once again, on the next Monday call, same channel and same time, okay? We can end the call right now, and we got some announcements to make. Thank you, Mr. Rogers, for ending the call.